Hello guys and welcome to GA Flying. Today is the day, finally, we have the release of the 2024 version of the Piaggio 180 from FlightFX. The best part is that for users of the 2020 version, this new 2024 version is totally free. Okay, there were some discussions in the past. FlightFX, when being asked if there will be like a price, said that they don't know, maybe not in the beginning, but then later. Then they said that maybe the Evo version, so the real life updated version, might have a price. For now, there is no Evo version. This is just the normal version that we had before, but it's totally free. Okay, and for people that don't own it, the price is $25 on the marketplace, and I think it's a very reasonable price. It was similar with the Honda Jet that I have shown before. The prices from FlightFX are really, really nice, okay, for what we are getting. So let's maybe talk about this update here. So one thing that is totally new, other than like the refresh of many other parts of the plane, is the Medivac version. So the medical one, and this is also the one that we will be flying today, okay? But apart from this great medical interior, there is also like a pretty long change log, sadly not in points, but in open text. So it's harder to find all of the changes, but we will try together, okay? Normally I don't like all of those like alternate variations, cargo and Medivac and stuff, because they are kind of low effort most of the time, I think. But here the change is really, really big and it looks great. So this is why I chose to show it to you today, okay? That saying, let me start with showing you the change description, I guess, because there is no real change log from what I could see. So let's start at the top. So there was always like a custom engine damage logic. Okay, in the AFB there is like an indicator for the damage engine health, right? Sadly, it wasn't working very well before. I was flying it like a lot, I think, some time ago. And I always had some problems with the engine health, and I think I was doing everything correctly. So according to them, this has improved, and now this indicator should work correctly and the whole system behind it, so we will check it out together. Okay. The next thing is this new FlightFX tablet that we also know from the Honda Jet, where we will have both Navigraph and OpenStreetMap. But the biggest change is that there is like an import of payload, passengers, and fuel from SimBrief, which works great in the Honda Jet, but for some reason doesn't work in this one. I think it might be related to the Medivac version, but I will just show you in a second. Okay, it should totally work. I would assume in the full version it works. Let me just show it to you. So this is this view here, okay? And I would expect it to work, but for some reason it doesn't. Okay. So Medivac variant being new is here. And also, apart from the 2024 update, there is also a very comprehensive update for the version in 2020 for people that are using the older version. And pretty much everything is corrected. So the flight behavior, the engine behavior, the weight and balance, everything. Okay. Another change is that now it's officially licensed with Piaggio, right? So now they no longer have to call it P180, but can use the full name. And the full name is also what you will find like in Marketplace or in the store when you will be buying it, okay? And the last information, the best one, it's like totally free for current owners, which is great. When it comes to the 2020 version, it was working before, but with some more or less serious bugs. So one of the bugs was that the EFB was like blinking very fast when no map from Navigraph was loaded, which could be distracting. And the second one was that there were some problems with the CG when using payload and passengers. There was this like infinite takeoff rollback where the CG might have been set incorrectly, not because of your fault, but because of the bug, and you couldn't really take off. Okay, so this is why people that were flying it before, most of the time were not loading passengers and cargo, just fuel. Okay. But now this is supposed to be fixed, so let's hope that we will be able to take off. I was flying the plane yesterday, I mean the 2020 version, because this is brand new, so we will compare it to the version that I've flown yesterday. Okay, and with this, I think we can, let me just change the camera view. Okay, we can go outside because obviously now it's 2024 native-ish. Okay, so we do have all of those features that were, oh, please don't tell me it doesn't work. No, it works. This would be really sad. Okay. Oh, another point here. Nice. So as we have engine damage, let's make sure that we'll get rid of all of those covers. So otherwise it might be sad. Okay. Here. Oh, nice. A lot of points to click. Can I also click on this one? No, I think this is on purpose. Okay. So let's just go around. Let's see if we can click on the ailerons, on the flaps. No. Okay, so just the covers. Seems like it should be fine. So pretty great model. When it comes to the sounds, they are made by Boris. And also it's the same that we had in the 2020 version, right? It's a pretty new plane. So the old version of it, that was still pretty new, was also done by Boris, the sounds. Okay, and here you can already see the amazing detail, okay, of the Medivac version. And let me see, can we just click? Yep. Oh, that's not what I expected, but this is also fine. So it kind of teleports us, and here you can see, looks great. So a lot of effort was taken to make it look like this, okay, and also this is compatible with the career mode in 2024, right, with the Medivac missions. Okay, let me see if I can just close it here without going outside. Can I? Okay, I can. Nice, nice, nice. Okay, so not much to do, but still pretty cool animation. Okay, let me just take a walk. So when it comes to the passenger version, it's probably having the best cabin that I have seen. Like there's so much interactive points in the passenger one. You can open everything. There is like tons of detail. Here I would not expect that there is much. Yeah, there is still some. But still, I think it's the best Medivac cabin that I have seen in the plane. Okay, and I think the toilet still works. Okay, nice. Let me just check. Okay, so this is the same as in the passenger cabin, pretty much. And let's check this. Yeah, this is also the same. Oh, I didn't know that this works. Haven't tried it before. Okay, can we flush it? Because before it was not possible. No. Okay, so not study level. Okay, let's just proceed to the cabin. Yeah, this is really great. Okay, can I click here? Okay, so a lot of stuff still works. Even this very small drawer here. And I think there is even like different stuff than in the passenger version, because there you had like some snacks and stuff, and here it seems to be either empty or there is stuff that might look like medical stuff. I'm not sure. Yeah, so still a lot of changes. Okay, so let us start then. So this is the bug that I'm having. I cannot use this weights and services menu that was like there. It tells me it's because the mission mode, but I'm for sure like in free flight. Maybe I should have like restarted it because sometimes there are some bugs with new planes. I'm not sure. Either way, we will just use like the standard old school menu to set it up. Okay, so let me just go to SimBrief, check how much we need. Okay, let's switch it to pounds. And I need 1.7 thousand. Okay. Whoa, I didn't want to do this. So 1.7. Okay. It's kind of here, right? And the payload, I also want some passengers, but I'm not sure if it will not mess up those models that we see here. Still, let's just do it randomly. Payload 660. Can you see it here? Yeah. Okay. So this is about right. If you don't know what this is a free mod that you can get from what was it? GotFriends. Okay, so the same that are doing the same company that is doing those planes, right? They are also offering such a free mod, I guess, that you can see here that you can use if you preferred the old interface, right, for loading stuff instead of the new one in 2024. Okay, and with this, I think we can start. There is a nice reminder to use the steer mode. So this is this one, because otherwise you won't be able to steer on the ground. Okay, and I think we can just start. Okay, so let's do the battery. Let's enjoy those Boris sounds. Also beacon, so here it will be anti-collision set to ground. Okay. Looks nice, 11 degrees. I think I have the weather because we will need it for the FMS. Okay. Now let's prepare to start the right engine. So we need the fuel. The pump needs to go to main. Okay. And let me check if there is anything else. So ignition is to norm, so this is fine. So we can just start. It needs to be 13%, but it's very fast, so it's pretty much impossible to not hit 13% in this one. And let's just put it to ground idle. Outside view. Yep. So as always with Boris, pretty decent. Okay, so the starter should turn off by itself when it reaches 40% NG, which has happened. Okay, and so now let's put it to flight idle. It's similar like in the King Air, right? That we need to give more power to the one engine because we will need it to start the other engine. Okay, and with this, let's go generator. Okay, we can check if the generator works by going into the systems page. And it should be here, and it's not. Okay, that's interesting. No, I mean, it was always here. I don't think I'm doing anything wrong, but let me just see. Maybe they have changed something. That's saying there is no new manual, because I have checked, they are still providing the old manual for it. So we have the volts here, but it should be here. Okay, either way, let's just proceed with the normal one. So we are at flight idle, we have the generator, maybe let me reset it, but I don't think this is the problem here. Okay, and now we need the hydraulics between both of the engine starts. Okay. And now we will just start the next engine. Pump, okay, ignition is on norm, so we just start the second one. 13%. Okay, ground idle. Okay, let's look for a hot start. Okay, no hot start, this is fine. Now we can turn on the second generator, so reset and on. Okay, and with this the other one can go back to ground idle, because otherwise we will have too much power. Okay, it's on the ground. We can slowly prepare for taxi, so the taxi light is here, bleeder. Okay. Let's set up the pressurization here. I will just hide this one. So actually what we are doing here is mostly setting up the landing data, because you do not need the cruise data. Okay, you need to make sure it's on auto, and then you won't have to set up anything other than the landing altitude. And in this case we'll be landing in Oslo. I will just show you the map in a second. And Oslo is pretty much at ground level. So not here, this one. So here is 0, we always add some, so let's make it 500 feet in this case. Okay, avionics. Okay, and no flight plan. So let me see how to do it. I should have a view for the FMS. Okay, sorry. So this is like the standard Proline FMS that you know, but it works pretty great. I didn't like it in the beginning, but it's really powerful, so I kind of got used to it. Okay, so let's copy this one to this one. Okay, let me just clear this message. Okay, let's go to flight plan. And you can obviously import the flight plan like in most high quality new releases. Okay, so let's go to index, to root menu, flight plan. No, wait, did they change something? It should be here. Okay guys, and welcome back. I had to do it by hand. For some reason this functionality is still not working. I'm sure it was here because I was doing it yesterday. I did restart the whole sim, and I also checked if the SimBrief connection is okay. So I switched to the passenger version that has this working wait and services, and here importing from SimBrief works. So the SimBrief connection must be correct. So I would assume this is a bug, sadly. Okay, might happen. It's the first day, right? The first hours after the release. That's saying this is an opportunity for us because this way I can show you this great interface here. Okay, so we do have the passengers loaded, the fuel loaded, and the payload loaded, everything from my SimBrief plan. And we also have access to those ground services if we need them. Okay, and I can also give you a quick look at the passenger cabin. So as you can see, we have switched quickly. Okay, and there are two versions with like great furniture and this wooden furniture. I always like wood because it's more cozy, so we will have wood. But actually, this is nicely done and smart. Normally there are always conflicts, right? And clipping, but this looks really nice. Okay, so let's go back to our cockpit. And let's just finish up the preparations. So we have both engines running. I was hoping maybe in this version I would see like the generator data here, but it's also not visible. I can only see the overall volts, but not the load. Maybe this is just something that comes with this newer version of Proline, and they had no way of making it work. Either way, I also armed the emergency power unit because I was afraid it would be draining because I had this information here. So just so you know, this also needs to be put to arm. Okay, we have both generators and everything is fine here. We need the bleed air after enabling both engines, right? This is done automatically. I only set the landing elevation here like I said, and then later we will set the QNH for the landing when needed, and nothing more is needed if you have set it to auto. I even like asked on the Discord because I wasn't sure, just basing on the manual. Okay, and with this let's just set up some other things. So our cruising altitude will be 36,000 feet for today. There's some nice acceleration here, so it's like very convenient to set up. Okay, I'm not sure about the weather. Let me just take a look here. So obviously I had to, it's night now, so I had to change it slightly. Oh, such a big airport. Okay, so 1007. Okay, so let's just, and now let's set up the rest of our FMS here. I'm really missing this. Okay, obviously if you want to, you can also order the weather here, so we can do it, for example, for the destination airport, so I can show you how it's being done. Okay, so now it's in progress. Okay, and I think it's ready. Yeah, received. Okay, and we have it here. Whoa, some gusting wind. Okay, so you will see. Either way, this is set up. So let's go to the performance. Okay. Okay, cruising altitude will be, I think, 36. Did I set 36? Yeah. Okay, so flight level. I never remember if it takes the flight level. Yeah, okay, it changed by itself. So this is fine. Any other pages? No. So let's go to takeoff. Okay, so the wind I have here, 270 at 10, 11 degrees. And this is already set based on what we have here. So the nice part is that it accepts both formats, right? So if it would not be set, but I would like to set it, it will just convert it automatically. Okay. Okay, runway wind, this is fine, this is fine. Okay, fine, but it's only one of the pages. So no ITIs, we will use mid flaps, which are the standard setting. Okay. I think I must have missed something. Yeah, okay, because I wanted to wait with the departure for you guys. Okay, so obviously it doesn't know where we want to start from. So 4 kilo, yeah, 4 kilo, and then runway 26. Okay, now it will be great. And also let's set up the arrival already. So SAP for Mike. Okay. So here, runway 19er Romeo. Okay. And transition Titla. Okay, nice. And now obviously those calculations will be fine, or they should be fine. And now everything is populated. Okay, so also we will have the VR calculated here. Yes, okay, sorry for the chaos, but I needed to restart everything and I'm still a little bit confused. But now it should be fine. Let's see if there will be no discontinuities, because I think I can remember some of on the route. Okay, so with this one we can either use clear or do it like in an Boeing, right, and just put it here. Okay, let me just see. Seems fine. Okay, so VNAV setup, the transition altitude here is 070. Okay, it's fine. What was stuff that I wanted to do? Let me just see. So this is fine, this is fine, this is fine. Okay, let's go back to the index. Here we also have like a plan mode. I hope it works because it was working before. Okay, so when we click on this one, we can go through the different options, right? And there's also like a plan option here. And above, if we want to change this one, we can just change it here. I do prefer to have FMS text, okay, here. And how to go over the points in the plan, this is kind of more complicated. So this is here, those 3 unique buttons, right? Let me just see if I have set everything up like I like to, okay, because it has saved my prior settings for the avionics. So especially this one is important because this one will tell you when you will have the top of descent, right? And also I like the altitude constraints on my nav points. So I do recommend both of those settings here. Okay. And here we have next waypoint and previous waypoint, and this is like one of the problems with those avionics, that it's hard to see both at the same time. Okay, let me just click nav a little bit more, and you can see it changing here, but sadly we cannot see it. So maybe there is like a pro tip on doing it. I'm just most of the time want to see the approach, right? But for me, this seems fine. So this is one of the reasons that I never liked Proline, just because some of the controls are like here, right, and here. Okay. With this we can change to present position, right? So we will have the standard map that we know it like from airliners and stuff. Okay. So now we will be preparing for taxi. So we need mode steer needs to go to taxi. Takeoff, no. Taxi, yes. I'm sorry, click too much. Okay. And we can slowly, whoops, camera shake, be on our way. So before you could close it here, and I think it's still the case, and if you have closed it, it's here. Okay. So with this, I think we can slowly start taxiing. Let me just do an outside view. Okay, nice, nice, nice. So maybe before we start, I can also show you the airport and actually show you the route for today, okay? Too much stuff happening. So we will be flying from Arlanda, Stockholm, or is it not? No, it's Arlanda, Stockholm, to Oslo. And Arlanda is custom and is included in the sim. And Oslo is payware that I had from 2020 times, but now it was updated for free to 2024. And we will take a look at those airports. Both are great. Okay? And with this, let me just show you something interesting about this one, which, as I said, is free. Okay? Everyone has it. You just need one of the sim updates, I think 5, but I'm not sure. And I want to show you like one unique asset. Okay, you can see already there's lots and lots of good looking stuff here. But I'm interested in one very specific one that I will show you in a second. Okay, sadly I cannot do it faster, but still you can marvel at the detail level that we get for free, right? Okay, so where are you? I think we should be there in a second. It's a pretty big airport. Oh, here. Okay, so this is actually like a hotel. Here you can see the services listed. That is within like a 747. Isn't it cool? Okay. And so I think I can just use the menu to come back. It's faster than showcase and reset position. Okay. Let it load. Yes, one. For a moment I was thinking one is rotating slower than the other one. Okay, so this obviously fasten seatbelts because now we have some proper passengers and not just like a patient and some doctors, and we can start. Sometimes you might also want to use the ice vane, so this is the inertial separator if you want to make sure that like no debris will go into the engine. That saying, this is a proper like international airport, so we are not afraid. We can just start. Ooh, I'm not sure if this is not new. This is cool. So one thing that was also updated in the new version is the lighting inside and outside. So this is something that I will show you once we will land. Okay, we will just change it to nighttime and we'll take a look at what has changed, right? Also, I want to set up some stuff here because I do want the flight level alert, okay? So let me just go to flight level alert and I want it to be on. And you have those settings here, okay? So here you have like the minimums for the landing, the V1s and stuff, but also some options. Okay, you can also set from inches to hectopascal. Yeah. Okay, and this is some pretty nice detail level, but it was also great like in the prior version. So one thing that I totally like about this plane is the view, because like many jets have great view to the side, but this has also great view here, so you don't even have to look around to see like a big part of the terrain. So this is also why I like it for sightseeing. And the second reason why I like it for sightseeing is that it's great for hand flying. So at least the 2020 version was. It was very, very enjoyable. And this is already like the second plane from FlightFX, where I think the hand flying feeling is one of the best in the sim. So for sure they have improved a lot, and nowadays I like it almost as much as for example the what was it called, the Aerostar from A2A, which up until now was like my favorite one to hand fly. So now those new FlightFX releases are pretty much also out there with it. Okay. Okay, so we can also prepare the flaps. Here we can see them moving. And we can also prepare other stuff as we are taxiing. So here I have the trim. Okay, let me just see if I'm still taxiing straight. This is fine. And I will just show you what I did. So it needs to just move into the green area here. Okay, obviously there is also beta. Let's just enable it. Okay, so if you feel that you are flying too fast, just change to beta. Flying, yeah, right, taxiing too fast. Okay, and we are still on steer taxi, and then we will need to change it to steer takeoff. Right? I see they have changed it a little bit, because before it was always looking like the screen and so on, and it was totally annoying for me, because it's like with your mobile phone, where it's like sitting at the table and you're seeing that something happened, that suddenly the screen has activated, like you have received a message or something, and it was always looking like this one, like there would be something waiting for you to check. So now it's like more matte, I guess, so it doesn't look as annoying as before. Okay. Yeah, so the taxiing is pretty cool. In the 2020 version, it was a little bit more bumpy, I guess. Now it's a little bit more stable, but you can still feel the suspension working, which is always cool. Okay. So let's just hold short here. Let's just do all of the needed stuff. So let's check the trims. They are in the green, so this is fine. Let's move this one actually to max RPM. Okay, auto feather needs to be armed. Oil coolers are for when the oil temperature is above 100, and we can see it here. It's 96, so it's still fine. Okay. And so what other stuff? Obviously landing lights, and those are actually extending here, and they will be like in the airflow, right? So we will need to close them until we reach like a specific speed, and I will show it to you like in a second. Okay. So anti-ice, windshield heat only to low, and you can see here everything is clean. I would also like array, right? TKS mode. Here I clicked on tune. This should be fine. And let me just get the flight director. Okay, so it's set for takeoff. This is fine, this is fine, this is fine. I got distracted so much like with the problems that we had, that I still need to change everything. So this is everything that we need like for the takeoff in this case. Okay, so this is put to landing. Seems like we are ready. Okay. And once we will be on the runway, we will change this one to takeoff. And here we have our V-rotate. There are also tests that you can run, and all of them are modeled. You are just switching it to the right position of the test that you want to do, and just clicking on this button. Okay, and let's talk about the takeoff. Let me show you the yoke. Okay, so we have those two buttons here, mode steer and this master whatever. I don't remember the exact name, but it's master something, right? So here now we have to change to takeoff, but then before we reach 60 knots, we have to turn off the steering altogether. That's saying in the sim it's pretty dangerous to click around here when you are like doing the takeoff. So there is also an option in the tablet. Let me just show you. Automatic steering mode, right? Because it is realistic to have to do it, but at the same time it's much easier in real life than in the sim, right? So If you find it will be dangerous for you to click around here while doing the takeoff, then it's totally fine to just use the automatic steering mode, right? Okay, and with this, let me just hide this one. Let me get a good view. I would like to see it like this. Normally it's very easy to rotate and to do the takeoff with. It's a very stable plane. Let's say with my luck something might happen, so you will see. Oh, yeah. I just overdid it. Okay, so we don't need this one. Now we can slowly rotate. Okay, positive rate, gear up. Okay, so flaps up before 170 and lights up before 160. Okay, so lights pretty much now. Okay, and now we can change to the proper modes, so nav, and also flight level change here. And the recommended mode for this one is 165, so the speed, right? Okay, let's just turn. Oops. You can get the nose down, just to accelerate. You can hear the trim. Okay, now let me set... Whoa, the engine behavior is so strange. I was used to how it was reacting yesterday, and there was a lot of leeway. This torque here was not accelerating so fast, right? So it was very docile and very forgiving when I was flying it yesterday. But today it seems like you need to watch out much more. Okay. So gear up, flaps up, and landing lights off. Okay. And it's now very, very docile. It flies almost like an Airbus, pretty much, if you obviously use the proper trim. But it also reacts great to trim. So, as I said, one of my favorite hand-flying planes. That saying, I was surprised by this one. I'm not sure if I have a worse day than yesterday, but it was very hard to catch it. I would not be surprised if we have damaged the engines a little bit. Okay? Because normally in those turboprop planes I'm always watching out, but after yesterday I was totally relaxed in this one. Okay, and I'm not touching my joystick for the last minute, pretty much. And as you can see, it's pretty much without any problem following like the flight director. And the autopilot is not on, right? Which I guess is also important to say. Yacht Emperor on. And it's really good. Let me do like an outside view. I just need to make sure it's not too loud for you guys, okay? Okay, let me just adjust the camera for some cinematic views. Okay. Okay, as you can see, we veered a little bit from our course, so we can just use the autopilot. But really, it's one of my favorite planes to hand fly, and it has not changed. We will see obviously how the landing will be, because this can go like many ways, but it should be fine. Okay, so we need the standard barrow. We can release our passengers. Okay, and we are over the transition altitude and over 10,000, so we can also get rid of the recognition lights. Okay, and here you can already see the time to top of descent. And once again, this is not normally part of like ProLine, the standard setup of ProLine, but you need to change it here. Okay. So once again, we have 3 unique buttons here. And the last one is also pretty cool. Let me just click on it. And here you can see a lot of additional data from the FMS. So all of the current situation information, right? But you can also, let me just see. Oh, is it also different? Okay, let me see. Okay, so position report, I think it's also different. Because before it was also showing all of the data about the original airport, so the one we started at, and the destination airport. Is it no longer here? Let me just see. This is not this. No. It was here. Okay, so I think this one has also changed. Interesting. Okay, so either way, about different functions. We do have a terrain radar, which works pretty nicely, but you cannot tilt it, okay? And we also have a normal weather radar, which also works nicely, but you cannot tilt it, okay? So especially in case of the terrain radar, it's a little bit like problematic, right? Because when you're descending into mountains, then you won't be able to see them for some time. So only when you're cruising among mountains, right? That saying, when it comes to the weather radar, it's the same for all planes in 2024, because it's impossible to have the tilt in the weather radar currently, okay? Okay, that saying, let's add very gently some power to this one. When it comes to the cruising settings, so for now we are still climbing, but the manual lists the cruising settings. That's saying they are always using 2000, like when it comes to the prop RPM. So I'm not even sure why you can adjust it here. So the manual doesn't tell you. So pretty much during the whole flight, it's 2000. Okay? When it comes to the torque, there are some pretty nicely done tables. Let me just show you. Okay, so this is the manual. Can I? Not really. Just wanted to jump to specific stuff. Oh, okay, I guess I have found it. Okay. So currently we are at ISA -4. I'm not sure what it will be once we reach cruising altitude, but let's check for -4. Okay, and we'll be cruising at 26, so somewhere between those, right? And the torque that we will be expecting will be somewhere here, right? 92, 95. So all of the data is in the manual, and this is something that I always appreciate, right? In planes, because many, even very high quality planes don't have it. Then the developer kind of expects you to Google it, but then it's not easy to find that there are different versions, or a different version that was simulated in this case. There is a lot of stuff happening. Okay, so let me just see the climb checklist. Okay, climb power was set, airspeed 165, 165 is set, seat belts, okay, we have released them. Let's check the pressurization. We do have the difference here, so this is fine. Windshield heat is on low. It is. Okay, perfect. Cruise. Airspeed refer to manual. Okay, so nothing else. Nice. And we do have noise cancellation. Let me just activate it for you, but I will just make it a little bit louder. This is the standard volume, okay, in the cockpit. Nice. Oh, and both engines are 100%. So as you can see, it tolerates my bad takeoffs, right? So we were for a pretty long time, I don't know, for 2 seconds, right, outside of the red, at least this red, and it was still fine. So nice. It's not as easy to damage it, okay? And before, when I was flying it, the 2024 version, I mean, obviously, despite not going over the red, it would be already at 98% for some reason, right? So now it seems to be more realistic, or maybe it's not working at all. So hard to say. Okay. So I guess we can go back here. I can show you some of the options here. So as already discussed before, I'm not sure if this will work, because... Oh, wow. What? Oh no, come on, I typed in G and it lowered the gear. No, come on, FlightFX, why do you hate me? Okay. So this was really unexpected. So this is also why I would prefer to use the keyboard here. Okay, and this works normally. The only problem with those functions in the EFB from FlightFX is that you cannot favorite it, right? As far as I know, at least. I don't see it anywhere. So this is something that is missing, and I would prefer it to be there, okay? Okay, so let me add some power still. Okay, it's running away really quickly. Very gentle, okay? And the OpenStreetMap for sightseeing, it's like much better than the other options, right? Or if you want to fly VFR, also pretty useful. Okay, and this one you have seen already. Pretty nice. With this, we can go into the cabin. Now that we have the other cabin, there is more to click, right? So you can pretty much click at everything. As I said before, a lot of snacks. Also here, okay, you can close the... Oh, nice animation. You can close this one. Okay, you can use this one. I mean, it's really crazy. Let me just show you something. I just need to set up the views. Probably not this view, maybe this view. Okay, let's go back here. Or even this one you can open. yeah, furniture simulator in this case. I hope this is what we are supposed to do and not because like I typed in the name of the airport and now it's doing strange stuff, but it seems to be fine. Okay, let me jump back to the cockpit for a second. And I want to show you the other stuff here. So plated dinner, for example, and some clutter. Okay, and now we can jump back here. And you can see lots and lots of stuff. Okay, so this is, I mean, this is great. Okay. So what other stuff here? And also the TV. But you cannot turn it on, sadly. Okay? I would like to watch something. The thing that I was missing in the 2020 version was that like the reading lights were not working, and sadly they are still not working. Okay? That saying, let me just jump to the cockpit. You can here set up all of the lights. Okay? So internal lights in the cabin, in the cockpit, flat lights and stuff. Here you have all of the controls. Okay, nothing new here. No. Okay, so let me just see. Here you can zoom in and zoom out. Okay. Okay. So we are still not at the top of climb here because I'm too lazy to adjust the power correctly. Okay. Okay, now it should go faster, but then it shows the top of descent. And the nice part is that VNAV totally works and is very, very good and precise, right? So we will use it for sure. Okay, so guys, I was talking a lot. Once we will reach cruise, I will also enable like sync and disable auto feather. That sync, I think, auto feather was somewhere during the climb, because I do remember when I was flying it yesterday, I think I had to disable it much earlier. Let me just see. Takeoff. Yeah, auto feather off, okay, during the takeoff. So this is another point that you have to remember. Okay, and then during the cruise, to sync. Yeah, I got too distracted with like over-torquing the engine. Okay guys, so I will just jump ahead, and once we will be ready for the descent, we will see each other again. Okay, so thank you, bye bye. Okay guys, so we have 5 minutes till descent, so let's prepare everything, let's go inside. Okay, so first, here you can see 5 minutes. Once again, you need to enable VNAV in the options to see it. We need to reduce the altitude for VNAV to work, right? So in this case, we'll go down till 3,500, which is pretty much the altitude that we need to catch the ILS. We don't have any ATC, right? And when it comes to the other constraints, the plane will follow them correctly. I hope the prior version was following them correctly, right? We can also already enable VNAV, and you can see the altitude, okay? And once it will come closer to the top of descent, it should start descending automatically, okay? But this is not everything that we have to do. Here, once again, in this weather import function, I have checked out the weather for the destination airport. Here we can see very strong gusting wind. Luckily in the direction that we will be landing against, right? So perfect, but also very bad visibility. Okay, so now we need to copy this data here and here, approach. Okay, so the wind will be, let's provide the worst possible one, right? So the strongest one here, 4 degrees. Okay, and QNH will be 994. And oh, maybe if I use a 0, let me just see. So normally it's converting without a problem, but maybe it needs a 0. Okay, perfect. So other stuff. This is fine, this is fine, this is fine. Okay, it has calculated for us the V-speeds that we will need. So let's just send it. Okay, no anti-ice, I think, although the weather will be kind of, bad, right? But maybe with no icing, 4 degrees, so you will see. Okay, how far are we away? So still 3 minutes. So then we will be obviously, we obviously need to reduce the speed once we will start descending because there's no auto throttle. Here you can see VNAV started working, it's showing the constraints, right? And one nice thing that I like here is that you have the standby barrow, right? If you are... am I doing something wrong? Let me just see. Okay, did they change it? Oh no, there is no standby QNH anymore. Really? No, the ProLine changed. Normally it was like showing you a field here and you could set up the destination QNH and then change when going through the transition altitude, but it's no longer displaying here. That's sad. I was hoping for only improvements. The first thing is that we didn't have like the generator load here in systems, right? I think it's nowhere here. Am I blind? No, we only have the volts. Can I click? No. Okay, so this is one thing that is worse, and the other one, no standby barrel. That's saying maybe it's more realistic. I don't know. Okay, let me see what else do we need. It was supposed to be only overcast, but not wet, so this would be fine. Yeah, so it seems like we are ready. We can take a look at our map, if everything is all right here. I don't want traffic. Okay, terrain here. Just zoom out. Okay, it seems correct and the constraints are also marked. So once again, if you want to go into plan mode, you just go here, right? Let me just zoom in. Whoop. Am I zooming in? Yes, I am. And here you can see all of the waypoints and you can change the waypoints here. Previous waypoint and next waypoint. And you can also jump to a specific waypoint, although I have never used it, but it's probably working nicely. Yeah, so we'll be going like this and catching the ILS here. We started descending and I just noticed we are a little bit too fast. Okay, so I'm just reducing the speed. Here you can see like the trend indicator, we are getting slower and it nicely catched the V path, right? Okay, so we can go back to present position. Okay, and also zoom out a little bit. I don't think we need traffic, as we are not flying online. Okay, present position like this one, and let's zoom out here. Okay, perfect. And here we have the display all of the time. And here also we have the descent path in this case. Okay, and the next constraint that we will be meeting. When we will be turning here, I think there is also like a speed constraint with 220 knots, but it should be easy to keep this speed, so shouldn't be a problem. Okay, and with this, I think I can just jump ahead once we are closer to the airport and there will be more interesting stuff happening. As of now, you can see VNAV works great, and this is also something that I like about this plane, that it's both great for sightseeing because it's great to hand fly and the like view is amazing because you can see everything here that you don't normally see in other planes. But at the same time, like the IFR capabilities are very, very solid. Okay. Yeah. Okay. This is what I wanted to say. Let me just see if there's no other topic that I wanted to discuss. But I think we have covered everything. Yep. So I will just jump to the approach then and see you. Bye-bye. Okay guys, so we are close to the final approach. As you can see here, let's just talk about the last about the last preparations. Okay. So first thing is I have set up the QNH for the destination airport here, right? It was 2935, I guess, so somewhere here. Then I set up the barrow reference, so it's under refs. And here you just need to go to barrow minimum, set it up and click it, and then it will appear here. And the last thing is the nav data. So I was always providing nav manually. Okay, let me just show you under tune and here. Oh, and now it's working. Okay, so I don't need to do it. Despite it being manual, I did not provide it by hand. It seems like it was tuned in automatically, because like 2 minutes ago, it was not there yet. So it is automatic despite it being described as manual for some reason. Okay, so this is fine. Again, let's talk about our approach here. I need to be at here. I need to be at 220. Okay, so this is fine. So let me just show you the charts. Sorry, a little bit of flickering here. So we'll be going from here, from Titla, right, and joining the approach here. So as I said, it was correctly, like the 2020 version was correctly tuning in the curves, but I was not sure about the frequency. And now I can see the frequency being okay. Once again, it's possible that the frequency was also changed before, like in the prior version, but I never wanted to wait so long, right? I like to have everything set up before there is a lot of additional work. So maybe it was always tuning in correctly once you are closer to the destination airport, but I'm not sure what the rule here is. That's saying 111.3 is the correct frequency for the approach here that we'll be running. Okay. We are at 10,000 feet, okay, so we can slowly seat the passengers. I have already done it before, right, when you were not looking, right? So let's seat them again. Let me just see if there is like a nice indicator for it. Is there? Wasn't it? Yeah, come on. Really? I think this was always working. Let me just see. Or did I now unseat them? No. No, come on. Is this a bug? Really? Really? Yeah, because it should be here and it should be here. Maybe it's just because it's daylight and it was not adjusted for 2024 correctly, right? So let me try to put it off and now go back. Okay. No, it's still not there. Okay, so something that they will have to fix, sadly. Okay. Okay, and let's check the checklist. Descent. There was nothing interesting here. Everything we have done. Let's prepare for before landing. Okay, so seat belts, yes. Condition levers to max, but like the cruise setting is also max, so I'm not sure. It's always 2000. Then gear, flaps, auto feather, landing lights, and everything, as you can see, and as I have discussed during the climb, everything has like a speed limitation, right? So you would need to remember them all. Okay. The nice thing is that the flap settings will be on this band here, on the speed band. Okay. Our speed is still nice. And I think we can jump ahead a little bit because it will be still a couple of minutes once we are at Titla and we will be able to join the final approach. Okay, so once again, jumping into the future. See ya. Okay guys, and we are back. We are slowly approaching the ILS. As you can see, a lot of clouds, so I have used the ice vein, right, so the inertial separator. I'm not sure if I haven't called it stabilizer before, but here we can see more and more of this hilly terrain, right, that is more characteristic for Norway. As I said in my prior videos, like Norway in reality is beautiful, but the quality of the textures in MSFS for like whole of Scandinavia is kind of average at best, right? There are some places that are better, some that are worse. That saying, we'll be landing at a fully custom payware airport that will be obviously beautiful, right? And I will just show you the details. For now, it's also a pretty nice picture here, okay? Let's go back here. So let me show you what is done. Here you can see it has already tuned in the ILS and will be ready to catch it, hopefully. At least the prior version was doing it without a problem. Here you can see the constraints, and like as I said, you can also set it up to show the speed constraints. So for example, Titla had 220, right? Let's think we will be turning, so let me just decelerate a little bit. The ice veins that I talked about are here, right, if you want to use them. And in a second we will see if this new version works as well as the prior version. And also one interesting fact is that it was very stable, like the prior version of the ILS, which is a problem that I had lately with other planes. So even with very quality planes, that they were very unstable on it. So let's just see if this will work out. Okay. And finally we can see some detail here. I always enjoying being close to the ground in 2024. Actually in 2020 it was also beautiful, but not in so many places, right? So this is just the alarm that we're coming close to the destination altitude, right? The set altitude. And we will see if it will catch it like it should. We can just center the heading back, right? With a click, which is always nice. And let's see if it will work. The moment of truth here. Oh, I should probably click approach. I heard this is helping with catching an ILS normally. Okay, and it works, right? So it has switched to the ILS without any problems. So it's very, very nice. Here we can also see the terrain radar starting to work. Okay, and you can see localizer 1 is caught, right, is captured, and we are just waiting for glide slope here. And we can see the diamond incoming, so we can reduce the speed a little bit. Let me just see how far away we are supposed to catch it, right? So this is 8.9 miles. So I think we are, well, oh yeah, this is fine. So everything is like on the chart. This looks nice. Yeah, this is really nice. Okay, let's reduce the speed because we will need flaps 1 and we need, as you can see, oh, this is different. Ooh, this is different because why are there like degrees of them? Normally it was flaps 1 and flaps 2. And those speeds are different? I'm not sure, guys. It was so easy yesterday. Okay, flaps 1 at 170. And if you will get too slow, we will get the gear horn. Oh, you can hear it now. Nice analog gear horn here. Okay. And with 160, we can also get the landing lights out. So I can show you here. Okay, and with 150 we will be also able to use auto feather. So I guess we can already do it now. Okay, I would like to wait till 5 miles until we will get the landing gear down. Oh, this is some nice colors. I think it's even improved. Yeah, I'm adding a little bit of power just for the gear horn to like shut up, right? But I think at 5 miles it's totally fine to deploy it. Okay, and now slowly we will go down to flaps 2. I'm not sure, I think the markers here are incorrect. Oh, this is oscillating on the ILS? Oh no, come on. Oh, because there is like a lot of crosswind, but still this shouldn't happen. Okay, maybe it will stabilize on the ILS, but I'm not sure. Okay, oh, that's the behavior I don't like. Okay. Okay, landing gear check down. Flaps check down. Let me just see. What is the second flaps? Yeah, okay, 150. So we can do it. Okay, so second notch of flaps. And let's keep the approach speed here that we have calculated in the FMS. Okay, now it's stable. Maybe it was just like a very strong wind gust from the side and it just needed time. Oh, this is pretty nice. I like it. Let's add some power. Okay, so landing gear down, flaps down, we have the landing lights, everything seems fine. Do we have the recognition lights? We do. Okay, seems like we are ready. Okay, now it's easy and stable. Oh, and Okay, too much talking, not enough flying. That's saying we are on the ILS, so it doesn't make a difference. But I forgot to change the QNH. I talked a lot about there being no longer a standby QNH and then forgot to change it. Okay. We don't need the autopilot anymore, so it's off. And now let's just some trimming. Let's just reach VREF. Okay, reversers. And we want to vacate to the right. Okay, so one thing I don't have is the steering. Okay, so this is always a problem. Okay, now it's nice, we have steering TO and we want steering taxi. So once again, if you don't have like a hardware binding for steering, I just showing it to you like in the standard version without being automatic, right? To show how it's supposed to be done. That's saying when I'm flying normally, honestly, I'm just going automatic, okay? Because I just don't have like a free button on the joystick to map those. Okay, and let's go to the old apron here. And in a moment I will show you the whole airport. Okay, let's just stop. As you could see, like a very short landing distance, which is always like a benefit of turboprops. Okay, and brake. And let's do after landing. So power levers are idle, steering is taxi, flaps are down, so we need them up. Radar should go to off. Okay, transponder to off, so let's go to nav. Here. And standby, not to nav but to tune. Okay, and so the rest of the stuff. Let's switch to taxiing. Okay, here we don't need the recognition lights, we don't need the position lights, and this goes to ground. Okay, ice protection no longer needed. We don't need the ice vanes and we don't need the windshield heat. Okay, auto feather can go to off. And the cabin altitude is kind of a set from what I can see. Yeah, there's zero difference here. Okay, so let's just taxi to our stand. Oh, and we should also change to ground. Not sure why it was not listed, or I have just missed it. This will be much easier to taxi with. And we will just stand at this old tower here. There's some nice detail here, really. Okay, like this. Now we can turn it off. Okay, and I did promise you some night review, I guess, night lighting review. So you will just take a look. Boop, 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 boop. Is it night? Okay, it is. Okay, so this is new. All of the interior light is supposed to be new. Let me just see how the cabin looks like. Okay, so oh, now we can see them. Okay, so I think this is also something that they have to improve. It's probably still the system from 2020. Okay, let me play around with it. So cabin light on. Okay, okay, not bad. I like it because it's nice and warm. Okay, cockpit light. Did anything change? I'm not sure. Let me. Oh, okay, okay. So this is this one. Okay, and flat light is here. Okay, nice and cozy. This is also how I remember it. This looks really nice with the shine here. So this is nicely done. Oh, this is also nice. But I think this was the case already. I had some like old screenshots from like night flying, and I think it was also like this. Okay, that saying, I think this also works. So, okay. Yep. Okay, so this is this light, this is this light, and the entry light is not working. Okay, so this is the crew light, I guess. Oh, here. Okay, let's go outside. Actually, we can also go to the toilet, because this is also like a very important point here. Click, click, no? It's a long process, I see. Okay, here it works, it's nice. Okay, and here the buttons work. Okay. So it won't be dark in the toilet. Nice. Let's go outside. Okay. Okay. I mean, nice. I can turn all of them on just to check it out. Okay. Okay, nice. You can see some like volumetric lighting here, I think. What I like about this one is that, is it? Let me just switch it to, yeah, that it's actually not harder to see with the landing light than without it. This is a problem that I had in the Baron, that when I turn on the landing light, I cannot see much because you're getting blinded by it yourself as a pilot, and this looks much nicer. So really great. Okay, and with this, I think we can shut it off. Let me just make it day again. Okay, so we don't need this one. This one can go to ground, and this one stays. So let's do a proper shutdown then. Parking brake set, avionics switches off, bleed air is off. Power lever, check idle, it should be idle. Okay, condition lever, check ground, it is ground. So hydraulic pump goes off, and condition lever can go to cutoff. Okay, outside view. Okay, really nice. And so, where did I... Yeah, here, cutoff. Okay, so fuel pump switches go to off. All electrical switches go to off, so generators to off, EPU to off, okay? And then battery in the end. So I think this is also missing. This should be fine, this is fine, this is fine. I think we have not missed anything. Okay, guys, and well, that's a strange view. I also promised you to show you the airport. Okay, so let's just do a quick view of the airport, as quick as possible because it's pretty big. And I will also show you where I was here, because when I was like flying to the north of Norway, oh, you had the train. I also had my transfer here at this airport. Yeah, okay, sufficient detail, I would say. After all, it's like a 2020 airport that was converted for free to 2024, right? So, and I think this wooden terminal is the one that I like the most. It's like for national flights, so within Norway. And it was so nice here, like with all of those wooden elements, and like there weren't many people here, and it was like so cozy and like quiet. I really enjoyed it here. But sadly, then we switched to the international terminal, and there was like chaos, total chaos. Also because this was the time when there was this, well, not computer virus, but like a problem with a software update for many computers, and many airports stopped working like for a whole day sometimes. So there was also chaos here, but in the end, we were able to go back home, right? So this was nice. Let me just see if they have the duty-free here, because I think it was here. Yeah, it is modeled. Very, very nice. Okay. So here we can also see some advertisement that is there. Okay. A pretty nice texture here of this tarmac. Yeah, nicely done. I always appreciate it when like a big airport is being updated to 2024 and it's totally free, right? Because it must have been a lot of work. And the main problem with this airport before this update was elevation problems with those runways here. Okay, so there were like steps where you could crash. So now they have corrected it. And I also like those mountains. Looks almost exactly like in real life. It was also beautiful here. Okay, guys. And with this one, thank you very much for watching. I really recommend this plane. It seems like there are some small bugs still, but I will just report them, and I think other people will also notice them. But as I said, it's perfect because it has great visibility and is great for hand flying. So this is one like one purpose that it can have, and it's also like a perfect IFR machine, right? Like you could see it was flying everything without any problems, and there was like lots and lots of features always to use. Actually, from what I remember, there was also great night lighting here, because they have those like lights with different colors depending on the taxiway. So let's just see if this is also a case here, if I remember correctly. Oh yeah, green here. Yeah, but I also remember different colors. So oh yeah, here you can see it. So let's just take last look before we say goodbye. Yeah, okay, so here you can see different colors. Pretty nice. Okay, this now is really the end. So once again, thank you very much, and see you in future GA flying videos. Bye-bye.